Oh, look. It's already here. I'm Daniel Whittington. I'm the Chancellor at Wizard Academy and Whiskey Marketing School. Today's Hidden Drams, and Hidden Drams is where I take a smaller distillery that you've likely not heard of and that you're probably not going to be able to get your hands on, but that I think is worthy of your notice. This was a bottle that was given to us by Brian Kofford. Kofford? This is Whiskey Acres Bottled in Bond Rye. Ooh, that was a good sound. Now, as you know, rye is not normally my preferred home turf, but I sampled this one already because I wanted to make sure it was something that I was like, oh yeah, I'd like to talk about that. And it was. I have found that when it comes to ryes, I'm like, meh, it's always a Kentucky rye. And when it comes to rye that I'm like, yeah, I don't really, meh, it's almost always MGP rye. And when it comes to a rye where I go, oh, hey, actually that's kind of cool, it's always some version of a really rich, viscous, heavy, dense rye in the direction of what could have been a Monongahela or like really pot still forward, right? So I tried this one. And I picked it up, and sure enough, this is bottled in bond, right? So I picked it up, and in the nose, I was like, ooh, hey, there you go. Dense sarsaparilla and sassafras leaves, and root beer, and cinnamon, and baked bread. There's a little bit of the like real dill, not pickle, but real dill. But it's like way back there because dill usually throws me. And I went, this has got to be pot still whiskey. And I went and looked them up. And I can't tell. I don't know. They are, but here's what is cool. This is a like 5th generation farm that has been making whiskey east of Chicago for a very long time. As in 1800s, they've been farming. Now remember, whiskey is a byproduct of agriculture, right? So originally, whiskey is just another agricultural product. And I've said this before, but I'll say it again. The super oversimplification of growing grain, I can raise it, I guess, is, oh, I'm hungry, I need some food. Let's grow some grain. Phase 2, oh, I'm hungry, we grew some grain, I'm not hungry, let's save some for the next time I'm hungry. Phase 3, I'm not hungry, we've saved some, I still have some, let's sell some. Phase 4, I'm not hungry, I've saved some, I've sold some, I still have some, now what? And this goes all the way back into Scotland and Ireland too. And that's the phase at which you start distilling. Not to mention that distilled grain is worth more and a hell of a lot easier to transport as far as sheer one-to-one volume. And so anywhere you find farmers from the 13th, 14th century on, you find distillation. And that's just how it is. Now, usually you didn't have like every farmer was a distiller. Very often what you would have is one farmer was also a good distiller, or there was a good distiller and farmers sort of contracted with them to work with them. It's the same thing in the wine industry with grapes and, cognac, Armagnac, brandy. Same kind of thing. So I love this term, and I just got a little bit more of the soda syrup. A little more vanilla. This is a beautiful whiskey on the nose. There's this term that I'm starting to see that I really love in North America, which is estate distillery. Now, I don't know that that's entirely possible in the UK because the size of farms in the UK very different. And so in the US, you get one farmer with, thousands of acres, huge, vast farmlands. That's a lot of grain. In the UK, it's more often, 20 farmers on that same space, each with their own small acreage, all taking their grains to a centralized buyer. And so in the US, it's possible to have enough grain from one farm to actually run a distillery. And that's really cool. So I love this idea of estate distiller. And I don't know who came up with that line first, but it's a great, very descriptive moniker. Oh yeah. 100 proof, right? Because it's bottled in bond. But it's just soft and buttercream. And then right at the end, you get that real blush of spice that's in the nose. And it finishes sort of soft and sweet, but not overly candied. It's really well balanced. It's really well cut, really well made whiskey. And I can't believe I've not... Okay, I'm gonna offer my only critique, and it's not a real critique. It's just, I don't think I ever took... Like, I've had this bottle for a while. I never opened it because the name Whiskey Acres just made me go... really? Which makes me such a jerk. Because, you know, everybody has their own reasons for naming things. But, like, all I could think of, and I'm sure that get this all the time, is Whiskey Acres is the place for me. But I just sort of looked at it and was like, you know, another craft rye. It's fine. I mean, it did win double gold in San Francisco. That's pretty damn amazing. And then I opened it and tried it and went, I was judging a book by its label. How's that for mixing your metaphors? 75% rye, 25% corn. I don't know what the varietals are. If anyone from Whiskey Acres sees this video, put in the comments, if you're up for it, what were the varietals on this release? This is the 2019 harvest. And all I know is that. Maybe it's on the side? Nope. Anyway. Farm crafted. This is good. I like it. And I'm not normally a huge fan of rye, but I'm learning more and more that when I do like rye, it's these big, rich, heavy, weighty flavor ryes. So I'd like to see more of those when I'm trying ryes. I hope that this was helpful to you. I'm grateful that we get the chance to sort of shine a light on, keep talking about craft, basically. It's been a weird time in YouTube. YouTube's metrics are changing, and everybody I know who's in the YouTube space is watching, like, viewers drop and subscriptions drop. Even those who've changed nothing, and we've changed a lot. But even people who've been doing it for a decade and have changed absolutely nothing, are still doing the same thing, have just said, oh man, the numbers are all declining, everything's shifting, the YouTube revenue is dropping, and they won't offer a real explanation for why, and all of this stuff. So I'm grateful that if you're watching this episode, as we talk about a whiskey you'll probably never be able to get, I'm really grateful that you're here. Cheers to you. I totally forgot before I leave. Maybe this will help. Like and subscribe.